Guess what, golfers? Vegas isn't just casinos and pool parties. In fact, there are 50 golf courses within a 15-mile radius of the Strip, all boasting beautiful desert oasis landscapes. So, if you're looking for a break from the action, consider hitting the links. See you in Las Vegas. Let's get lucky.
No one is going to pick Indiana. No one's going to pick Indiana to make it close, honestly. Like, you can't really, you could get tremendous odds if you pick OKC in 7.
I think that taking the series over 5.5 games, the last 2 NBA Finals series ended in 5. I think this one goes 6. I think the Thunder will get the job done, but I think the Pacers are just too strong of a team and too talented of a team and too deep of a team to lose in 5 or fewer games.
Newswire, only on SportsGrid.
We're going to go through every single thing, and I've got a great team behind me that's going to help me get the job done. I want this to be the place that people come to. There is going to be an energy to game time decisions that you will feel night in and night out. We are going to hit every single one of those markets that you need to know about. We will have everything at our disposal, and we will use that to our advantage. There is not going to be a better place, I promise you, than Game Time Decisions. I'm Kevin Walsh. Tune in to Game Time Decisions weekdays on SportsGrid.
We welcome you to hour number 3 live right here on this Wednesday on the early line on SportsGrid. He is Donnie. I am Ben. It is hour 3. It is game 3 of the 2025 NBA Finals on this Wednesday night. For the first time in Indianapolis in a quarter century. For the first time since 2000, downtown Indy will host an NBA Finals game as the Pacers try to take a 2-1 series advantage. But OKC is the road favorite on this Wednesday, entering game number 3. We'll break it all down. We'll give you best bets throughout this third and final hour. And we'll start by hearing from you in just a matter of moments. Up next, we go live to Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. No, not to Steelers mini camp for Aaron Rodgers to throw in shorts, but for those golfers getting ready for the United States Open, the 125th playing of it at Oakmont. Keith Stewart joins us live to break down the field on the eve of our third major championship this year and golf. And from the brilliant baseball mind that is DRS, a breakdown of this full Wednesday slate around the bigs in this third and final hour as well.
Now, do we go out to Pittsburgh today instead of talking about, again, golf, talk about Aaron Rodgers? And I just think, like, at every single press gathering that he has after practice, why does he just go like this? Hey, guys, don't ask me about it. Don't ask me about it. I mean, come on now at this point now. I'm fully invested in Aaron Rodgers and the Pittsburgh Steelers now. This could carry me through the entire summer here because the question now is we need the internet sleuths out here. We need to know who the wife is. What she does for a living. Is she an actress, not an actress? What is going on with Aaron Rodgers? Because you're not allowed to get away with this, Aaron Rodgers. You don't show up with a ring on your finger and be like, just got married a couple months ago, and we don't have any details. We'll find out. Trust me, we will.
I believe her name is Brittany, if I am not mistaken, in what he revealed, I believe, on the Pat McAfee show earlier in the offseason.
Could, right? I mean, look, you just gave me the first name with Britney Spears. You know what I mean? There's a lot of Britneys out there in the streets.
Of all the Britneys for you to throw out in relationships with Aaron Rodgers, that really got me. Maybe Keith Stewart is double credentialed.
I don't know where your mind was going. I went Britney Spears.
You just said.
How about this? Yeah, how about isn't there a Britney married to a Kansas City quarterback? Is that the case as well?
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. I believe so.
Why not speculate? You
Maybe
don't want to give us the answers. We'll speculate.
Quarters.
Yeah, we'll speculate. How about that?
So a producer extraordinaire, Joe Frizo, you believe the name, and I think I saw this as well, is Britni, right? Brittany spelled like that? A-N-I?
Yeah.
Brittany.
You know what?
I got what you're saying.
I mean, if our producer, Joe Frizo, can we get Olivia Munn? Like, can we get Olivia Munn on the show to really get some details on Aaron Rodgers? You know what I mean? We can use this to our advantage here. We can go on the offensive on the show. Yeah.
Shailene Woodley has been the most outspoken about her relationship with Aaron Rodgers and not in a positive way. Maybe that's coming Thursday on the early line. Who knows? But I'm sure the internet will do its thing and find Brittany before all is said and done. All right, DRS, game number 3 tonight of the 2025 NBA Finals. 5-point spread in favor of Oklahoma City. A road favorite tonight in Indianapolis. Total 228.5. What is the best bet in this series tied at a game apiece? The question for all of you in Fade the Public. What is the best bet for game number 3 of the NBA Finals at SportsGrid on Twitter? The Thunder as a 5-point road favorite. The Pacers as a home underdog. The total skying to the over for a second consecutive game at 228 and a hook. Or staying under like it did considerably so in game number 1. Most of the public, DRS, willing to lay the 5 points with the Thunder on the road tonight inside Gainbridge Fieldhouse. More than 41% of the vote. That updated number now on the FanDuel Sportsbook. DRS, are you fading the public?
It makes sense. No, I'm not fading the public. I don't necessarily love the Thunder at -5, but you got 4 options. Like the coin flip on the total. Could go over 220.5, could go under. I don't have any in a specific way I like. I do think the Thunder win this game. They're the favorite. So again, I'm not going to shy away from a 5-point spread. Well, I think they win, but they can't cover. Nonsense. I always talk about that. That's not the way you do it. So I do think they win. But for me, Ben, the way I'm attacking this is the Thunder will win the first half tonight. -2.5 for me. As I explained earlier in the show, you take a look at that game number 1, double-digit lead at the half for OKC. Take a look at game number 2, double-digit lead for OKC. Take a look at game number 3, -2.5 here. Yes, I do think the Pacers need a good start to beat OKC, but their real MO at times is, hey, you know what? We're not going to play our best basketball to the second half when we're really up against it. I'll play into that theme. So I do think the Thunder better bet for me is -2.5 in the first half. But if I'm saying, you know what, the Thunder win the game, then sure, I'm going to lay the -5. I just don't know if that's the best way to bet it for me, because there's a there's a premise where I can be up double digits at the half and not even win the game outright. Just give me the Thunder, because if I'm optimistic about the Indiana Pacers winning this game, which technically I'm not, the Pacers better be up at the break, 7-8 points here to say, you know what? 1-1 series lead. We're up at the break here. We're not going to drive this home and take a 2-1 series lead. Like, that's a pretty good opportunity. If I see the Thunder up 10 at the break, which expectations are they should win the game, much harder, of course, for the Indiana Pacers to come back. So for me, I can see the Thunder up by a couple points at the break and losing. I just don't know if we see the Pacers up by like 15 points at the break and then losing that game to the Thunder, and the Thunder still cover the 5.
Of course, Indiana has been that dramatic comeback team throughout this postseason. They are now 5-4 straight up in NBA playoff games in this playoff run when trailing by at least 15 points. They were 5-3 following the opening game of this championship series. Of course, they got shellacked and trailed by 15 plus multiple times throughout game number 2 against OKC, losing that game by 16 points. Again, the Thunder, in all 18 postseason games in this run, DRS, have been booked as at least a 3-point favorite. That includes all 7 games for Oklahoma City away from Oklahoma City. They are 4-3 straight up. They are 0-7 against the spread. Could this be the first time the Thunder cover as a road favorite? Indiana at home, 6-3 straight up. They have only been booked as a dog in 2 of those 9 games inside Gainbridge Fieldhouse. Game 3 and 4 against Cleveland, 1-1 straight up, and against the number. They lost game 3 by 22. They beat the Cavs outright in game number 4 of their second round set. Indiana as an underdog, tremendous throughout this postseason, 8-4 outright. DRS, it's really fascinating in a series tied at a game apiece for OKC to have this much odds confidence after stumbling down the stretch in the most critical junctures of game number 1, and yet the Thunder are a minus 650 favorite outright to hoist that Larry O'Brien trophy. DRS, if you were to highlight one individual player, or maybe even two, who you think has a big game in game number 3 tonight, who sails over a points prop on this Wednesday?
How about not even a points prop? How about Tyrese Halliburton over 2.5 3-point shots made at a plus 100 price? Because I think I love to bet in like correlated theories. Halliburton doesn't play well. Come on now. Pacers aren't going to win this game. Halliburton plays well, 25 points. Well, he scores 25 points. There's a good chance that 9 of those points came from the 3-point line. That's for me. Give me Halliburton early, knocking down a 3-point shot. He eventually ends up with 3 3-point shots made. That's the prop I probably like the best tonight from an Indiana Pacers perspective.
Nobody on Indiana, despite stealing game number 1 in Oklahoma City, has scored 20 points throughout this NBA Finals. That has to change tonight. To Oakmont we go with Keith Stewart next.
Enter into the magical world of McLuck.com, where even the smallest of spins can win real cash prizes. Adventure into over 1,000 of the best Vegas-style slot games. So what are you waiting for? Unlock your free welcome offer today. Join the fun where winners play and players win.
Two guys that can do it all.
Too much electricity this morning.
This is a good time. We're having a lot of fun.
I had to do a triple take.
Ka-ching!
Why? Because of parity.
I didn't mean to offend.
Yeah, it's not going to happen.
Load management is a dirty word.
Let him rip.
You know what? Circumstances provide the results.
What? How do you do this one?
Oh, Donnie, you got such a good show there.
A network that is booming.
The early line, only on SportsGrid. The game is on. The stakes are high. But the action isn't just on the field.
He's rearranging that ring. Get it inside!
SportsGrid's in-game live. Your ultimate second screen experience.
A little flyer, couple of 15.5-point live line.
Every prop, every play, every day.
Anything can happen. That's complete chaos.
It's smarter to be on SportsGrid.
We're going to go through every single thing, and I've got a great team behind me that's going to help me get the job done. I want this to be the place that people come to. There is going to be an energy to game time decisions that you will feel night in and night out. We are going to hit every single one of those markets that you need to know about. We will have everything at our disposal, and we will use that to our advantage. There is not going to be a better place, I promise you, than Game Time Decisions. I'm Kevin Walsh. Tune in to Game Time Decisions weekdays on SportsGrid.
Did you know sportsbooks tend to draw up tighter bet lines for events that get even more bettors, like championship games or major matchups? My tip, try betting on less popular sports. You might have a better shot at beating those odds. Now, go get lucky. See you in Las Pages. Let's get lucky.
Let's talk about that.
The toughest test in golf, the third major championship of the year, the 125th United States Open. This week, outside of Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, that's where we find Keith Stewart on this Wednesday morning on the eve of the 2025 U.S. Open, live right there inside the media center at Oakmont Country Club. Keith, we appreciate your time. Thank you for joining us bright and early on this Wednesday, the final day of preparations ahead of the United States Open.
Ben, Donnie, it's great to be with you and the audience. Welcome out to Soakmont. That's right. It's been a little wet out here. The weather's been beautiful yesterday, today, but we're going to get a little more rain over the weekend. It's going to be interesting how this all plays out.
I saw a lot of very gnarly looking, very dark gray clouds early on this Wednesday. We saw Rory McIlroy out on the course for his final practice round as the sun was rising in the Steel City to get those final preparations. We'll talk about the Masters winner, who is struggling in just a matter of moments. But Keith, let's start with the actual golf course. Let's start with the conditions at Oakmont. The USGA takes a great amount of pride in making the U.S. Open the toughest test in golf. We have seen the length of the rough. We have seen golf fighters drop a golf ball in the rough and see it disappear. We have heard from the players themselves. Call Oakmont right now, more than likely, the hardest golf course in the world. Just how difficult of a test will Oakmont provide at the 2025 United States Open?
As difficult as it's going to get. I mean, this is a perfect marriage between the USGA and the Oakmont membership because they both just love carnage. And that's why we've come here for the 10th time. There have been 9 previous U.S. Opens here. Over 1,300 participants overall have played in a national championship here, and less than 2% have ever finished the tournament under par. The place just absolutely annihilates people. It's a par 70, 7,300-yard track that's got 168 bunkers. I mean, as if 167 weren't enough. They're probably adding one right now. The rough, it is so severe. I mean, if it was 3 inches long, it's so dense and thick. I mean, these guys have, out here in Pittsburgh, we know this in New York, we've had a ton of rain this past May. They've had 13 inches of rain in the last 10 weeks here. The place is, I joked in the opening, it's Soakmont. It is absolutely so wet in this long grass and everything. It's thick, it's dense, it's the playing surfaces are absolutely perfect. The fairways, the greens, and the greens themselves, the average green size is over 8,500 square feet. There's so many little tests to this place over the course of 18 holes, over 72 holes. Just to shoot even par will probably make you the national champion.
It'll be so much fun to watch because it's such a difference of, okay, 13, 14, 15, 20 under wins a golf tournament. Now you might be looking at par wins a golf tournament. Let me ask you this question before we get to your keys and who can win this thing. Is there an option of like a good player, Keith, in your mind that can't win this thing just based on mindset and how this course sets up?
Well, you mentioned his name earlier. It seems like Rory's been checked out since the Masters. He wins the career Grand Slam. I mean, the things that he was saying, you know, all these guys work with sports psychologists. The things that he was saying in the press room the other day were the exact polar opposite of what everyone else is saying as they self-talk and they try to build themselves up and get ready for this challenge. And Rory's like, well, you know, I think we'll figure out the driver. I think we'll do this. Like, there's no thinking about this place. I mean, it is as hard can be. Every single shot is tested. And as we break into the keys, the first thing that you need to know for this week is that it's a first shot golf course. We hear this all the time, like Augusta's a second shot golf course, blah, blah, blah. Oakmont is a first shot golf course. If you don't get the ball in play off the tee, you are dead. Because from there, you are reeling for every single shot, finishing that one hole. And then you've got 17 more holes to play. So if you're not getting the driver in play, and we've seen his struggles in Canada and at Quail Hollow, I mean, he's got to figure that out. And I just don't see how he magically does that between now and tomorrow. It's just not going to happen. The second key is that these greens are they're humongous. They're like St. Andrews. It's like nothing you see over here in the States. They have all sorts of bumps and swales and plateaus. And in the recent renovation done by Gil Hans, they added 24,000 square feet of green space over 18 holes. You're going to see 100-foot putts this week. You're going to see gravity take over for golf balls. If you cannot lag putt here, you've got no shot. And the third key is that if there was a theme song for this place, it'd be Enter Sandman. I mean, cue the Metallica. Forget the Hokies. Forget Mariano. They have 168 bunkers here. You're going to run into trouble at some point. The church pews, the famous ones, it's 110 yards long and 40 yards wide. I mean, like, if you can't play from the sand, if you don't have any around the green acumen, you are going to be toast.
So, Keith, let's talk about some golfers that can win the United States Open. And of course, when you go to the top of the odds board, you see a very familiar name, that being Scottie Scheffler, who has 3 wins in his previous 4 starts. And then the reigning U.S. Open champion in Bryson DeChambeau, who took home the major a year ago at Pinehurst in North Carolina. Plus 280 on Scottie. That's where we always begin, Keith. Each and every week, it's the same story on Scheffler. If he is in the field, if he is playing the event, it is a drastically short number. What is your outlook for world number 1 this week at Oakmont?
I mean, for Scottie, this is the perfect spot for him because, you know, we start these weeks and the handicappers always say, well, is it more of a power week or an accuracy week? And when you say both, well, then you say, well, geez, that really suits Scheffler. Over his last 5 starts, he's gaining over 14 strokes on average against the field. 14 strokes. That's 3.5 a round. I mean, how do you keep up? You can't. So when it comes to betting him, I'm going to have a lot of fun with it. I'm going to play props like low USA, low North American, you know, round 3 leader, and then I'm going to wait on the outright number until Sunday because there's a good chance he'll be at probably even money come Sunday, and then you'd bet him with 18 holes to go, not 72. And as far as, you know, Bryson goes, I think it's really tough to defend here. He's won 9 times in his career, and he's never defended. So for me, Bryson, I mean, he's certainly a threat, but Scottie's still the favorite.
So, Keith, if I were to ask you quickly here, a number on the FanDuel Sportsbook, you mentioned the props, 278.5, over under for the winning score at Oakmont this week for the U.S. Open champ. You going under or over?
I'm going to go over that number, under that number. There's going to be more under par than they think. It's going to be soft, and there's going to be better scoring.
Under 278.5 would be 278 at bare minimum. That would be 2 under for the entirety of the event. Keith, we appreciate the time. More on the early line next.
Hey sports fans, here's a tip to keep in mind the next time you make your betting picks. According to research, home field advantage is no joke, especially in those playoffs. In the NBA and the NFL postseason, the home team typically has a 64% shot at victory. Now, go get lucky. See you in Las Vegas. Let's get lucky.
I got a feeling Pittsburgh's going to the Super Bowl. I got a feeling there is no chance they're going to the Super Bowl with Aaron Rodgers. I'm just kidding.
They're still not expected to have over 8.5 wins. They're still not expected to have a winning record. Now, I know things could change for the next 24 hours. I get that. But everyone expected Aaron Rodgers to sign with him. He's going to sign with him.
Pharrell Coast to Coast. Only on SportsGrid.
Plenty of takeaways from Yankees-Dodgers where LA sent a message on Saturday, and the only way the Yankees could salvage it was somehow beating Yamamoto, and they did.
You're staring a sweep in the face, and after losing the World Series, knowing what the opponent is, you know what the narrative would have been on Sunday Night Monday. Oh, Yankees get swept by the Dodgers.
Game time decisions. Only on SportsGrid. The game is on. The stakes are high. But the action isn't just on the field.
He's rearranging that roof. Get it inside!
SportsGrid's in-game live. Your ultimate second screen experience.
A little flyer, couple of 15.5-point live line.
Every prop, every play, every day.
Anything can happen. That's complete chaos.
It's smarter to be on SportsGrid.
Because it is the eve of the 2025 United States Open, of course, as we talked about the big guns in the field, we need all of the early leans on the early line. So one final check-in with Keith Stewart, who joins us once again live from Oakmont Country Club ahead of tomorrow's start at the U.S. Open. All right, Keith, floor is yours. The early leans on the early line. Who has a good week in the most difficult test in all of golf?
Ben, thanks for having me back. I know the audience needs these names. The first guy I'm going with at plus 1,200, Jon Rahm. Since he went over to LIV, he's played there 19 times. He has 19 top 10s. He is still a world-class player. Last year at Troon in the bad wave, he finished 7th, right? 14th at Augusta in April. He was 8th just recently at the PGA. I love his ground game. I love the fact that he's from Europe, because this place in and around these green complexes, you're going to need to be creative. You're going to need to channel a little bit of inner Sevy. And the way he drives the golf ball, look at the last 2 champions here in the U.S. Open, Angel Cabrera and Dustin Johnson. Big, strong guys that hit the golf ball left to right as a right-handed player off the tee. Jon Rahm is that guy. The second one, Harris English at 100-1 plus 10,000. Look at the value on this guy. And you say, well, Keith, come on, how is he going to beat Scotty Scheffler? Well, you know what? In 9 trips to the U.S. Open, he has 9 made cuts. You look at some of the comp courses in the U.S. Open, like Wingfoot in 2020, he finishes 4th. Torrey Pines in 2021, he finishes 3rd. Go back to Augusta, he finished 12th this year. And then, of course, at the PGA, he was the runner-up. So I love myself a little Harry English, a little smooth swinging bulldog down there from the University of Georgia, and then back it up with the sensational Spaniard, Jon Rahm at plus 1,200. Guys, that's my early leans for the 125th U.S. Open, coming to you from Oakmont.
I like it there,
we
Keith.
appreciate the time.
Oh, man, come on. I got to get a follow-up in here. Bryson DeChambeau, Keith, 2 wins since 2020 here at the U.S. Open. When I think golfers that can win with usually high, rough at this point, he's not the golfer that comes to mind. Why has he had success at the U.S. Open for the past couple years?
Well, to get out of rough like that, Donnie, quite simply, you need power. And no one has more power than him. And he's a great scrambler. So, I mean, that's really the secret sauce that it comes down to. Why I'm favoring Rahm is that he's just really good around the greens, and he's got enough power to get out of the rough. But the fact of the matter is, I know he's got those 2 U.S. Opens. He's got 9 career wins, Donnie, and he's never defended one of them.
Plus 700, that price on DeChambeau to try to change that narrative this week. Keith Stewart will be here tomorrow, live from Oakmont, as play at the United States Open gets underway. We'll talk updated and live round 1 leaders, how the guys are faring out on this very difficult test, and of course, looking at some live round scores for the start of the United States Open on a Thursday outside of Pittsburgh at Oakmont. Keith, as always, enjoy the day. Stay dry out there at Oakmont, and we will talk tomorrow. All right, DRS, let's go around a full Wednesday slate around Major League Baseball from your brilliant baseball mind. Why? You like baseball?
By the way, let me ask you a question.
Both.
Hold on, let me ask you a question, because I'm stuck on Bryson DeChambeau. Went to his wiki page. It says one of his nicknames is the Bison. Stop. Have you ever heard somebody refer to Bryson DeChambeau as the Bison? Yeah, that's on his wiki page, man. Would he add that himself? How's that get the stamp there? The Bison. That's my name for the guy now. Come on. My goodness.
It is just simply not the Bison. He has never been called the Bison ever in his life. The scientist, sure, Ebida, as he likes to say, but the Bison, never. I thought you said,
Bryson,
man.
the Bison.
No, not a chance. Because we got to break down the Philadelphia Phillies in their day baseball matchup at the bank against the Chicago Cubs. Jesus Luzardo, DRS, was sensational to start the year, but kind of indicative of how the Phils are playing as of late. Yesterday, losing 8-4 against the Cubbies. Ian Happ, a multi-home run game. The Phils have dropped 10 of their last 12, and Luzardo has been struggling in his last few outings. Philadelphia, an ever so slight favorite today with some afternoon baseball in the city of brotherly love. What do you expect here between the Cubbies and the Phils?
I'll tell you what's crazy. Even if we just date back 30 days, which includes obviously Luzardo's past couple starts, he's got 25 2/3 innings pitched. He's actually 6th on the card today out of 29 pitchers over the past month with 5 innings pitched here that are on the card today. How about Ben Brown? He's number 3 on the card. So you got 2 top 6 pitchers on the card, Ben. But how about the ERAs of both of them? Ben Brown's last 30 days, 5.93. Jesus Luzardo's last 30 days, 8.77. But the xFIPs are still low because of the strikeout rates here. Something has to give. 82 degrees in Philadelphia this afternoon. We're probably getting over again. I got to tell you.
We'll break down more baseball up next on the Early Line.
Guess what, golfers? Vegas isn't just casinos and pool parties. In fact, there are 50 golf courses within a 15-mile radius of the Strip, all boasting beautiful desert oasis landscapes. So, if you're looking for a break from the action, consider hitting the links. See you in Las Vegas. Let's get lucky.
No one is going to pick Indiana. No one's going to pick Indiana to make it close, honestly. Like, you can't really, you could get tremendous odds if you pick OKC in 7.
I think that taking the series over 5.5 games, the last 2 NBA Finals series ended in 5. I think this one goes 6. I think the Thunder will get the job done, but I think the Pacers are just too strong of a team and too talented of a team and too deep of a team to lose in 5 or fewer games.
Newswire, only on SportsGrid.
We're going to go through every single thing, and I've got a great team behind me that's going to help me get the job done. I want this to be the place that people come to. There is going to be an energy to game time decisions that you will feel night in and night out. We are going to hit every single one of those markets that you need to know about. We will have everything at our disposal, and we will use that to our advantage. There is not going to be a better place, I promise you, than Game Time Decisions. I'm Kevin Walsh. Tune in to Game Time Decisions weekdays on SportsGrid.
Live right here on this Wednesday on the Early Line on SportsGrid, a full baseball slate to break down for you. All 30 clubs in action, 15 games dot the docket, and a ton of afternoon baseball. DRS, just to drive home your point on Jesus Luzardo as of late, a great note from our producer extraordinaire, Joe Frizo. First 11 starts in his debut year in Philadelphia, 16 total earned runs allowed, 3 home runs given up, 67 innings of work. In his last 2 outings, 20 earned runs, 4 more earned runs allowed in his last 2 starts than in his opening 11, 3 total home runs in 5 2/3. It's hot today at the bank. It's hot here on the East Coast. That total in the rubber match between the Cubs and the Phils is at 8.5. Some afternoon baseball out in Southern California as well. Total is 10. And we've seen a lot of runs so far between San Diego and LA. The Dodgers won the first game of this midweek set against their divisional foes. First meeting this year between the Padres and the Dodgers in extra innings. It was San Diego providing basically all the offense yesterday. 11 runs to beat LA 11-1. Rubber match today. Dodgers a road favorite around $1.50 price. Who takes that rubber match in the third and final game of this midweek series?
Yeah, we're expecting runs because Vasquez is out there. He's usually the XFIP king in the wrong direction. He has been decent over his past couple starts, though, but the fact of the matter is he can't get left-handed batters out, and he doesn't strike anybody out. That's immediately where I go to on that lineup today, which after an embarrassing loss yesterday, afternoon game, it's just Shohei Ohtani and Freddie Freeman. You're not doing that today. So Shohei Ohtani's been hammering right-handed pitching. I'm taking him for an RBI. Freddie Freeman, the same deal, 402 weighted on base percentage through his last 76 at-bats against right-handed pitchers. I like him on there, and also Max Muncy, 79 at-bats against right-handed pitching. How about a 424 ISO and a 513 weighted on-base percentage? 72 degrees out there in San Diego. Winds blowing out close to double digits to right field, so the advantageous lefties getting spreading around on that? Yes. I like left-handed batters today for the Dodgers going up against it. We'll probably get runs. Robleski, not a lot, Ben. 10 innings pitched over the past month here. He's got an ERA that's decent, but a lineup coming in hot from last night for the Padres. We're probably getting runs. But for me, I want to focus on the left-handed batters for the Los Angeles Dodgers this afternoon.
It's interesting to see Justin Robleski out there get the start for the Dodgers, and they're $1.50 road favorite in San Diego. But Donnie just gave you the reasons why. Fork watch still firmly on for the Atlanta Braves. Donnie, we saw both Philadelphia and Atlanta snap long losing skids to start off their midweek sets on Monday, and then both squander the opportunity yesterday to start new win streaks. We go to Milwaukee, some day baseball between the Brew Crew and the Braves. Atlanta with Spencer Schwellenbach on the bump is a favorite at -142. Total is 8. What do you like here between the Braves and the Brewers?
Roofs and the windows will be open today in Milwaukee. 83 degrees with 11-mile-an-hour wind blowing out to left field. Now, granted, it's a dome stadium. It opens up. How much that wind is going to impact it, we don't know, but it's not going to hurt any conditions, and you should get some of that heat and humidity in the building. The question for the Atlanta Braves today is not, can Spencer Schwellenbach be effective on the mound? He has been effective, Ben. Last month here, 33 1/3 innings pitched. How about an ERA of 2.97 and a fantastic xFIP of 2.81? You may not have heard of Chad Patrick here, 27 1/3 innings pitched for him for the Milwaukee Brewers over the past month. But how about a 2.30 ERA for him? But that xFIP number a little bit higher at 3.93. So if I'm looking at the total at 8, I'm not sure we get the 9 runs. I think Schwellenbach can hold that lineup down from Milwaukee. And then the Atlanta Braves, who just can't get out of their own way at the plate here, doing the same things last night that they've done over the past month, which is not scoring runs. Give me the under in this game. Just don't have any faith in that offensive lineup right now.
Yeah, DRS last night, a single run for Atlanta. They had 7 in the opener, but a lot of that was sparked in the 5th inning and later. The Braves have dropped 15 of their last 19. It is why they are on Fork watch. They are 10 games sub 500 at 28 and 38. The Fork firmly in Atlanta at this moment. Let's head out to St. Louis, where DRS, one of the hottest teams in baseball, no longer the Red Birds, but the Toronto Blue Jays. Toronto looking for the sweep today under the arch against St. Louis, but the big lib, Matthew Liberatore, out there for St. Louis, Donnie's favorite MLB pitcher. -138 now, that number in favor of the Cardinals. They're a home favorite, hoping to avoid that sweep against the Jays today. Total 8.5. What do you like in the Lou?
Yeah, I want to do a little bit more research a little bit earlier in this afternoon to take a look at some of these splits between Liberatore, because the reason I like that is you're right about this. Like the Blue Jays lineup, we were waiting like, hey, it's a decent lineup coming into the season, hasn't hit. Take a look at their last 30 days, though, specifically against left-handed pitching. You take a look and say, outside of George Springer, it's got a 252 weighted on-base percentage. You want that number, Ben, 320 or higher in that range. Every other player, the lowest there after him is 309. We're talking about players, Ben, 377, 780, 586, 354, 399, Vladimir Guerrero Jr., 442, and Bo Bichette, 363. So if I'm getting, let's just say, 8 out of the 9 batters absolutely raking against left-handed pitching, and then throw in winds blowing out to left field at 8 miles per hour and temperatures in the mid-80s, that's a lineup that I want to certainly try to get down with. Now, go to the other side here with St. Louis. Their lineup against Eric Lauer, who's not a great pitcher, not a big strikeout guy. Typically, him being a left-handed pitcher, there's going to be more right-handed batters in the lineup, and that's true. In the middle, Mason Wynn, Ivan Herrera, Wilson Contreras, as well as Nolan Arenado. Maybe opportunities there for hits. So for me, I see the 8.5. I like the over 9, but I really like that lineup for Toronto here, which if some of those xFIP splits add up for me with Liberatore, I'm probably looking at a team total for Toronto this afternoon and liking it a lot.
15 games today, 8 during the afternoon hours in their specific ballparks, 7 during those evening hours. The Blue Jays have won both of the first 2 games against the Cards. We got some afternoon baseball at Busch Stadium on this Wednesday. The Blue Jays have won both of these first 2 games by a single run. Toronto has won 11 of its last 13 as well. 26-28 on May 27th. Now 37-30, playing really good baseball as of this moment. Speaking of winning by a single run, by the way, Giants beat the Rockies yesterday, 6-5 at Coors. San Francisco on a 6-game win streak, where all 6 of the victories in a row, all by just 1 run. The Giants a pretty hefty $2 favorite tonight at Coors Field with Robbie Ray on the bump. That in the evening hours, as is this one out at Kauffman Stadium. The Royals playing host to the New York Yankees. Yesterday, the Yanks played in 10. Austin Wells had 5 ribbies. Aaron Judge hit a 469-foot home run for his 24th dinger of this year. The Yanks a road favorite once again in KC, minus 126 that price on the pinstripes. Total is 9. What do you like tonight in Kauffman?
I'll tell you, yesterday, you take a look at Noah Cameron, like, oh, man, he's spinning that baseball, left-handed pitcher, see what he does against the Yankees. They hammered yesterday in Kansas City. Now, today, 85-degree temperatures here, wind blowing out to left field. You absolutely have to love that. But another pedigree lefty, or should I say even more of a pedigree lefty, in Chris Bubic. He's been nothing short of spectacular. His last month, Ben, 27 and a third innings pitched. How about an ERA of under 1 and a sparkling xFIP number of 2.88? He struggled a slight amount with left-handed batters with weighted on base percentage and ISO, but that's only through his last 11 batters. On the season, he's been fine with left-handed pitching. But also, you're not going to get a ton of lefties in the lineup today, and the focus will be on the right-handed batters. If you just take a look at the last 30 days, Bubic has faced 90 right-handed batters. How about an 074 ISO against? How about a 198 weighted on base percentage and a 30% K rate against those right-handed bats, which, you know, Paul Goldschmidt and Aaron Judge all have high numbers here as right-handed batters against left-handed pitching over the past month. It's hard to say after the Yankees smashing yesterday a decent left-handed pitcher that why can't they just do it today? But I got to tell you, ebbs and flows, man. Probably looking at more of an under today because also Clark Schmidt on the mound. His last 28 and a third innings pitched over the past month. How about a 3.53 xFIP number? Great hitting conditions, though, sometimes can overwhelm pitchers. I don't know, man. I think these pitchers hang around in this game, and maybe we do get an under.
Total is 9, right? It's up there at least from a pregame standard, but you've got a pretty good pitching matchup with Clark Schmidt facing off against Chris Bubic on the other side for the Royals. Again, 15 games on this Wednesday, 8 during the day, 7 at night. We'll recap for it, all of it for you on a Thursday. Game 3 of the NBA Finals next.
Falcons are actually relieved that he's kind of not there to create more of a distraction. Look, I mean, I said it the day it happened. It was one of the stupider decisions I've ever seen by a professional NFL franchise to sign a quarterback to a $180 million contract and then draft his replacement exactly 5 weeks later. This was a terrible organizational decision by the Falcons. Now, they're going to spin this, and this is what's annoying about the Falcons and their PR staff. They're going to spin this as if this is the plan we had all along. This is the plan that when, Kirk Cousins either got hurt or didn't play well or got too old, we were going to have Penix come in. And guess what? The new plan is now we're going to keep Kirk Cousins as a backup. So if Michael Penix gets hurt, we told you so. We were right for keeping him on the roster. We were smart for keeping him here. No, this whole thing has been an abject disaster.
The Early Line, only on SportsGrid. The game is on. The stakes are high, but the action isn't just on the field.
He's rearranging that roof. Get it inside!
SportsGrid's in-game live. Your ultimate second screen experience.
A little flyer, couple 15.5-point live line.
Every prop, every play, every day.
Anything can happen. It's complete chaos.
It's smarter to be on SportsGrid.
It'll be interesting to see what the Knicks do, but the Knicks are at a point now where they don't have to blow it up. They may still do so, and they have a right to do so, but with trading the 4 first-round picks and the pick swap for Mikal Bridges, the Knicks don't have a lot of room in regards to actual picks to throw at people.
Betting above the rim, only on SportsGrid.
Game number 3 of the 2025 NBA Finals on this Wednesday evening in downtown Indianapolis. Our first NBA Finals game in Indy in a quarter century. 25 years ago in 2000. It wasn't called the Gainbridge Fieldhouse at that time, but that was the last time the Pacers. What was it called?
Conseco Fieldhouse, wasn't it? Is that what it was for a long time?
Yeah. That sounds right.
Market Square Arena way back in the day, too.
Lakers.
Yeah, good stuff.
Yeah.
Good stuff.
Rick
Whatever happened to
Smith,
Conseco?
Reggie Miller. Lakers won that
Dale
series,
Davis.
I think, in 5. A sweep? It's pretty quick.
Yeah, they beat him up good. Yeah, I think they beat him up good.
6.
It was in 6? Wow.
6.
All right.
Here's an interesting story. My mother, through the law firm that she used to work for as an office administrator, had a deal with Xerox. Xerox would give her company, like the printing and office supplies company, would give her company tickets. She took my sister to game number 5 of the 2000 NBA Finals, not me.
Well, what was that? Give me the ages, though. Give me the ages between you and your sister.
I was 6, and my sister, who just had her birthday on Monday, was, I guess, 9. Yeah, 9.
So hold on. You were 9 and she was 6, or did I get that wrong? Somebody was in my ear right there.
You just completely flipped it up. I was 6, she was 9.
Okay.
Yeah.
Still disrespectful, though.
Yeah.
Now, how come Pops didn't step in on this and say, this isn't happening like this? Did you cry? What happened? But then again, are you a Clippers fan growing up? I mean, come on now. Let's be real.
Come on. None of that. None of that. Listen, you can joke all you want about Anaheim. None of that Clippers garbage up in here, especially during the heyday of the LA Lakers. My mom worked downtown just a couple of blocks away from what was then the Staples Center, now Crypto.com Arena, whatever the heck they're calling it nowadays. So maybe it was my dad not wanting to drive. And just
now, is your mom still
being
working
a
there,
part
though,
of
is the question. Is she still working
She does
down
not.
there?
My mom has since retired.
I was going to say, like, we were out in L.A. Like, we might have been able to stumble over to, see, kid take their parents to work day or vice versa. At that point, we could have done that. Yeah.
All I remember is
you
us
take your
walking
mom out
out
to work, and then he takes you into work. Could have happened all in the same day. What a day.
Could have. It really could have. All I remember is us walking out of the LA Convention Center, and as we're leaving the media entrance, people waiting to see Donnie Wright's side of the SportsGrid network. That was a lot.
And Jake Plummer, either me or Jake Plummer, looking like he was a surf guy out there. Jeez, come on, Jake, get it together, kid.
Then we made our way back to Glendale and had a lovely burger at Burger Bun. We hope that establishment still doing very, very well. We signed the wall. All right, enough of this trip down nostalgia and memory lane. Let's get you set for Game 3 tonight in Indianapolis. The Thunder, who equalized after a 16-point win in Game 2 DRS, have kind of reinstated themselves as the hefty and expected favorites throughout this championship set. OKC, 5-point favorite on the road tonight in Indy, total 228.5. Donnie, we always like looking at the betting statistics on the FanDuel Sportsbook to get a picture of how the public is approaching this game. We saw 41% of our Fade the Public poll lay the 5 with the Thunder. That the most selected option. 75% of the money on those spread bets backing OKC as the road favorite in Indianapolis tonight.
Yeah, because most people are seeing, Ben, what did you get in game number 1? Hey, 10 points. What did you get in game number 2? I don't know, 11.5. What am I getting in game number 3? What? 5 points here. And by the way, some other outlets here at 5.5 and higher at this point. And this opening number at FanDuel, New Jersey was -4. So it's up to 5. The people were buying in right away, and I can't blame them. OKC is the better team. Yes, Indiana did win a game on their home court. Indiana knows they need to win game number 3. But if you're just looking for the better basketball team to show up tonight, it is OKC. And as we talked about, where the public was going, forget about with their money, just with their votes here when we had the Fade the Public poll earlier, most people still siding with that -5 points here for Oklahoma City, which is exactly where the way I went. But that's not the bet I made on tonight's game. I just take a look at a piece of game 1 and game 2 knowing I'm going to get a really good start out of OKC. That's just their MO in the series so far, and I do believe that they want to take the crowd out of it right away. I don't need to be up double digits as they were in the first two games. I just need to be up 3 points in this game to cover the first-hand line as a -2.5. That's the way I'm going. I expect the Pacers to be in this game all the way through. I don't think this is actually going to be a runaway, Ben, where it's like, all right, down 10 at the first quarter, down 20 at the break, and we coast in the second half. I do think you're going to get a great punch from the Pacers, but I'm just looking at the way I think this is going to play out. A tough, hard-fought game, which could be within a possession or two at the end of the game. I just got to be up a couple points at the half, and I'll be able to enjoy that second half as it plays out and maybe root on the Pacers, because for me, a rooting interest, yeah, you want to win money. But, boy, you want to get the public back into the series again, which you saw more people watch game number 2 than game number 1. Why? Because things went against the grain, and the public likes that. Shock them, man. Pacers up 2-1. Oh, no. What's going on with OKC? More people will tune in to game number 4 if that happens, I do believe.
2.5-point spread in favor of the Thunder for that opening half. OKC has held at least a 12-point lead at the break in both games. They coughed up a 15-point lead in the fourth quarter in game number 1. Obviously held serve after an 18-point advantage after 2 quarters in game number 2. The Pacers have been those cardiac comeback kids. They've been a great underdog as well. 8-4 outright throughout this playoff run as an underdog. Only a home dog twice in each of their 2 games in Indy and their second-round series against the Cavs. They got beat by 22 in game number 3. They won outright in game number 4. So 1-1 straight up and against the spread in their 2 contests as a home dog. OKC, 0-7 against the number on the road throughout this postseason. 4-3 straight up, at least a 3-point favorite in every one of those games. DRS, as we look at the props tonight, what is your favorite player prop, the individual you look to impact the outcome the most tonight?
Yeah, I talked about it earlier. It's Tyrese Halliburton. He has to have a good game tonight if they want to win. And I mean a good game like playing average, 13, 14, 15 points. He's right back up in that 17.5 as you see that graphic. He's got to go over that number. And if he goes over that number, Ben, the correlation is he's knocking down those logo 3-point shots that we need. Players typically shoot better in their home gym. Halliburton, over 2.5 made 3-point shots, which earlier in the show was a plus 100 price. He's knocking down 3 tonight. That's the bet I like here as a prop side.
DRS, they have to have a big night from Tyrese Halliburton. Was Indiana's leading scorer in game 2, but 12 of the 17 once the fourth quarter was out of hand. DRS, enjoy the money line. We'll talk tomorrow. More on the early line next.
If we had like Big Shot Bob for Robert Horry, what are we calling Tyrese Halliburton? Because Big Shot Bob would give you like 1 a postseason. This guy's giving you 3 in 3 rounds. What a performance down the stretch by Halliburton, and the entirety of that team sticking together, staying to the plan, and shocking everyone in the fourth quarter again.
The Early Line, only on SportsGrid.
Have control of any sport. Baseball, you can breathe. The pitcher steps off the mound, even at the bottom of the 9th, World Series or whatever. Football, okay, first down. Then you second down, and there's a method to it, right? The hockey is just all out reactionary, crazy, puck bouncing around everywhere. Oh my God, there's always like a scoring chance.
Sports Rage tonight, only on SportsGrid.
Dialing it back to his old days with St. Louis and Arizona. Buy or sell, Goldie will finish top 7 in fantasy first baseman.
No, I'm going to say no. I think he'll fall off. Older player here, he'll be top 10, but not top 7 here. Top 10, I would say, yeah, I'd buy it. Top 7, I'm going to say no here. I think he'll put up decent numbers here. Not as good as he was. I don't think he's going to bat 340, 350 all year long.
Fantasy Sports Today, only on SportsGrid.
I got a feeling Pittsburgh's going to the Super Bowl. I got a feeling there is no chance they're going to the Super Bowl with Aaron Rodgers. I'm just kidding.
They're still not expected to have over 8.5 wins. They're still not expected to have a winning record. Now, I know things could change for the next 24 hours. I get that. But everyone expected Aaron Rodgers to sign with him. He's going to sign with him.
Pharrell Coast to Coast, only on SportsGrid.
We get you ready for game number 3 of the 2025 NBA Finals and a quick check-in on the WNBA as well. Nearly at the quarter pole of this extended season, 44 games in the W. A lot of teams nearing their 10th game already. Commissioner's Cup action last night as well. Just to round out some of the props so you know the individuals and what their expectations are for game number 3. Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, 33.5, by far the largest points prop in this game. SGA has scored a combined 72 points in the first 2 games of this series, 38 in game 1, 34 in game number 2. He has scored 72 points. That is the most of any player in NBA playoff history in the first 2 games of their NBA Finals career. Again, he has been sensational. Rick Carlisle, the Pacers head coach, even after game 2, basically said, you can already pencil him in for 34 points come Wednesday night. That is maybe not their focus. SGA is just such a good scorer. He is going to get his buckets. Tyrese Halliburton and the rest of Indiana, they need to score tonight. If you're glass half full for the Pacers, they stole game number 1. They lost game number 2, albeit by 16 points. But nobody on the roster has scored 20 points yet. Nobody has gotten to the 20-point benchmark at this moment, and the Pacers still displaying that great balance they possess. 6 guys in double figures in game 1, even 7, despite getting beat by 16 in game number 2. Jalen Williams, not overly efficient in the NBA Finals so far, just 33% from the floor combined in the first 2 games of this series. 2 of 9 from deep. 2+ made threes for J-Dub tonight. That's minus 136 is how I would attack his points prop and his scoring production. Pascal Siakam, highest points prop for a Pacer at 19.5. Of course, he was the Eastern Conference Finals MVP for Indiana, scored 15 plus in all 6 games against New York in the ECF. Here he has been in double figures in both, but it has not come close to that points prop of 19 and a hook. Indiana known for its depth. So too is OKC. Chet Holmgren so much better in game number 2. 6 points, 6 boards in game 1, 15 points in game number 2. Alex Caruso, Aaron Wiggins, the sparks off the bench. A combined 9 made threes for both. Lou Dort has not been great from beyond the arc just yet. And again, Miles Turner, Aaron Nesmith, Andrew Nembhard. These guys are filling it up. They are getting 2 double digits. They need somebody to really show out from a scoring perspective on this Wednesday night in game number 3. OKC is a hefty favorite, minus 650 to be crowned an NBA champion. The odds makers are thinking that despite coughing up and stumbling down the stretch in game number 1, the Thunder are about to rattle off 4 consecutive victories. OKC to win in 5, plus 172. The Thunder a 5-point favorite tonight. They are going to be favored in every game. It's just a matter if they can cash that money line ticket. A recap for you on a Thursday here on the early line. But before we go, let's check in on the WNBA. Some history at the top of the table so far in this WNBA season. The New York Liberty hammering teams to start. They beat the Chicago Sky by 19 points last night. Despite losing by 19, Angel Reese probably had her best performance of the year. 17 points, 11 boards, 30 career double-doubles for Reese, and only 42 career WNBA games. Fastest to 30 career double-doubles. That's some nice history for Reese. But her Chicago team in 2025, not great. 2-6. The Liberty, the reigning champs, sensational. Now a perfect 9-0 with an average win margin of 19 points per game. The Minnesota Lynx also remain perfect at 9-0 with an average victory margin also in the double digits at 10.7 points per game. Listen, there was a thought entering this year it would be a rematch in the 2025 WNBA Finals. Now a best of 7 between the New York Liberty And the Lynx, as we saw all 5 last year, including overtime in that winner-take-all Game 5 that New York did win to be crowned a WNBA champ for the first time. We are certainly on track for that. We have 2 teams that have started 9-0 or better for the first time in the WNBA in nearly a decade since 2016. The Indiana Fever without Caitlin Clark, who missed her 5th consecutive game last night, not playing great basketball. They are 2-3 in the absence of Clark. The Aces, not much better either. Some surprising teams, the Atlanta Dream and the Phoenix Mercury. WNBA MVP odds, Nafisa Collier, who has been great this year for Minnesota, now a -370 favorite. That does it for the early line on this Wednesday. Show returns tomorrow, 8 a.m. Eastern.